In this video, we are going to see some rules for differentiation. Some of the rules are shown here. Let's have a look. So for the first rule, when f of x is equal to a constant, then the derivative of f of x is equal to 0. So for example, when f of x is equal to 7, then we can say that the derivative of f of x is equal to 0 because 7 is a constant. Or when f of x is equal to minus 2, then the derivative of f of x is equal to 0 because minus 2 is a constant. Okay, let's go to the second rule. When f of x is equal to x to the power of n, and n is different than 0, then we can say that the derivative is equal to the power n times x to the power of n minus 1. Okay, let's take an example. For example, when f of x is equal to x to the power of 7, then we can say that the derivative is equal to n. In this case, n is the 7 here. So it's equal to 7 times x to the power of n is 7, so 7 minus 1, which is 6. So you actually lower the exponent by 1. Okay, let's take another example. For example, f of x is equal to x to the power of 3. Then we can say that the derivative is equal to, so the exponent 3 times x to the power of, and you lower the exponent by 1, so 3 minus 1, which is 2. So the derivative is equal to 3 times x to the power of 2. Okay. Let's check the third rule. So here, when f of x is equal to c, which is a constant, times a function g of x, then we can say that the derivative of that f of x is equal to the same constant c times the derivative of g of x. Okay, let's take an example. So for example, f of x is equal to 3x to the power of 2. Okay, then we can say that the derivative of f of x is equal to the same constant c, and the constant in this case is 3, times the derivative of g of x, so the derivative of x to the power of 2. We can write the derivative of x to the power of 2 like this. Okay, so this means the derivative of x to the power of 2. And the derivative of x to the power of 2 is equal to 2 times x to the power of 1. Because you move the exponent to the front and you lower the exponent by 1. So the derivative is equal to 6x. Let's take another example. F of x is equal to 4 times x to the power of 6. Then we can say that the derivative of f of x is equal to, so we keep the 4 and we take the derivative of x to the power of 6 and we write that like this. That is equal to 4 times, we move the exponent to the front, so times 6 times, and we lower the exponent by 1. So x to the power of 6 minus 1, which is x to the power of 5. So 6 times 4 is 24 times x to the power of 5. And that is the derivative of f of x. Okay, let's check the last rule. When f of x is equal to a function g of x plus another function h of x, in that case the derivative is equal to the derivative of g of x plus the derivative of h of x. Okay, Let's check this one as well. I'm gonna check it here. Okay, let's say that f of x is equal to 3x to the power of 2 plus 5x, and we have to find the derivative of this one. Then we can say that the derivative of f of x, you can see very clearly that the function f of x exists of two functions like 3x squared and 5x. So then the derivative of f of x is equal to the derivative of 3x to the power of 2 plus the derivative of 5x. So here this is like in the form of c times g of x. So we have a constant 3, so we can move the constant 3 to the front. We only have to take the derivative of x to the power of 2. Plus, here we have constant, so we move the constant, we keep the constant, and we take just the derivative of x. Okay, so 3 times the derivative of x to the power of 2 is 2 times x, because you move the exponent to the front, so you do times the exponent, and you lower the exponent by 1. So x to the power of 1, or just x, plus 5 times the derivative of x. The exponent is 1. So I will write that down here first. So the derivative of x, or the derivative of x to the power of 1, is equal to 1 times x to the power of, and you lower the exponent by 1, which is 0. So we have 1 times, and x to the power of 0 is just 1. So it's 1 times 1, which is 1. So in other words, the derivative of x is always equal to 1. So the answer here is 6x plus 5. Okay, let's take another example. F of x is equal to 3x to the power of 5 plus 2x minus 1. Then we can say that the derivative of f of x is equal to the derivative of the first term, so 3x to the power of 5, plus the derivative of the second term, 2x, so the derivative of 2x, minus, because now we have a minus, not a plus, the derivative of 1. To calculate the derivative of 3x to the power of 5, we keep the 3 and we take the derivative of x to the power of 5, plus we keep the 2 here and we take the derivative of x, and the derivative of 1 is the derivative of a constant, and that is equal to 0. So the derivative of x to the power of 5 is just 5 times x to the power of 4 plus 2 times the derivative of x is 1. So the answer is 15 times x to the power of 4 plus 2.